You're listening to the Confidence Coach Podcast, episode 92. How you spend your time equals what you prioritize. All right, guys, before we dive in today, I want to remind you that enrollment is open for Confidence Academy 2.0 from now until the end of June. So we are looking for women who are ready to not only increase their confidence in their life, but in their business. Women who are ready to step out of their comfort zone and into endless possibilities. You guys, I am stoked for this next round. Okay, what's included? Monthly coaching calls, your online confidence course, monthly expert guest trainings, high-level accountability. You get an exclusive community, non-judgmental support, retreats, and so much more. If you are interested, please head over to sashadavis.com/apply now or scroll down, click the link in the show notes, and send in your application. I can't wait to read it. All right, let's dive in. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Confidence Coach Podcast. I am your host, Sasha Davis. Today, I want to talk about what you spend your time on is what your priorities are. And when I say this to people, sometimes it doesn't sit right. They're like, oh, no, it's not. That's not a priority, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay, well, what you focus on clearly is a priority to you. And if it's not a priority, how can you start to reevaluate, reschedule, reprioritize your day to the things that are most important to you? So a lot of times people will say to me, oh, well, my business is a priority. Growing my business is a priority. I'm like, great. So what are you doing to prioritize your business? You know, I ask them if they have time set up to reach out with clients or to schedule follow-ups or to, grow their audience. And a lot of times those things are not a part of their day. They're expecting to just turn on the open sign and hope that people show up. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that is not a thing. Unless you know some sort of secret that I don't, I have not seen a lot of people just be able to flip on the open sign and people come waltzing into their new business that nobody's ever heard of and want to purchase all the things. Usually what happens is you launch your business or you start a business and you hear crickets because you have these really high expectations that things are just going to magically happen. And that's total bullshit. This is where the confidence and the visibility and the putting yourself out there is key. So how often are you showing up in your business and offering your services, your products to other people? Okay. They aren't just going to randomly Google your name and hope to find the solution to their problem. That's not a thing. Same thing like with our health or with our family or with our marriage or with our money. These are all things that I hear people that they want to focus on, yet they don't, quote, find the time to do it. And it's like, okay, well, we all have 24 hours in a day. And I realize that some of you have a 9 to 5 or some sort of job that you need to go to, but I guarantee you're not there for 24 hours. Okay. You're probably there, I don't know, maybe max 12 hours. And I worked a hell of a lot, you guys. I worked 3 jobs at one point in time and still found time to start a business, grow a family, do these things. You just have to be very, very intentional with the little time that you do have, okay? So if you say, oh, I have such a bad relationship with my husband, I really wish I had time to work on my relationship with my husband. Do a time audit, okay? What have you been spending your time on in the last 24, 48, 72 hours, the last week? Literally write down what you are spending your time on an hour-to-hour basis. And I bet you find that you waste a whole hell of a lot of time. How much time are you scrolling social media? How much time are you leisurely taking your time doing things? Sometimes I just take 3 times as long doing something because I didn't plan ahead or I didn't figure out the things that I really needed to get done, and it just takes me twice as long. You know what I mean? Or sometimes I'll like say, oh, I'm just going to sit down on the couch and watch this 1.5 hour show. And the next thing I know, 2 hours later, and I didn't get anything done. Or if I don't time block, or if I don't figure out strategies to clean my house. You know, there's times where, I do have somebody come clean my house every couple of weeks because honestly, I fucking hate cleaning houses, and I can find a lot better use of my time that's going to help me spend time with my family and grow my business. I will spend the $60 or whatever that it cost me to have somebody clean my house, so that it frees up time for the things that bring me joy and the things that can help me help others. It's where my zone of genius is. Cleaning my house is not my zone of genius, but I get sidetracked easily. So I do have to clean my house some, but I try to focus on that task at hand. You know, I always say like split focus equals split results. So how thin do you have yourself spread right now? I've talked to a lot of you lately, and you know, through DMs on Instagram. And if you ever want to reach out to me, I'm super active on Instagram. Go find me at sasha.davis. That's SAUSHA.DAVIS. But a lot of you are like, oh, I can't focus. It's like, well, you're not focusing on one freaking thing. You're that person that's like doing dishes, and then you realize that you need a new washcloth. So then you go get a new washcloth, and then you realize that, oh, now I need to swap the loads. And so then you go to the basement to swap the laundry, and then you're like, oh crap, the basement floor needs swept and mopped. So then you start sweeping and mopping the basement floor, and then you're like, oh, I wonder what so-and-so is doing on social media. And so then you scroll your phone, and then you go back upstairs, and you're like, oh crap, I forgot to finish the dishes. You have a bajillion tabs open in your brain, and you're not focusing. So if you say you're going to do the dishes, do the fucking dishes until the dishes are done. And then if you say you're going to do the laundry, do the fucking laundry until the fucking laundry's done. If you say you're going to reach out and do all of your follow-ups for your business, say you have like 30 potential leads, and you're like, oh, I know I should really follow up with these people. I said I was going to follow up with these people. Well, if you're not doing what you say you're going to do, you're not keeping promises to yourself. You're not showing up at your highest self. If you envision yourself 10 years from now, or even 5 years from now, as a better version or of a higher version of yourself, how does that person show up? I bet they keep their promises to themselves. I bet they have time blocked schedules where they actually block out time to get shit done. If you're making cold calls, you need to schedule out that hour, and you need to boom, 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 make those calls. Do it. Get it over with. If you say you need to record 5 podcasts, do it. Set the time aside, block out some time, boom, 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 get it done. And if you are a work-at-home mom, because I know a lot of you either are in corporate or you're working at home, if you have your kids around, you're just going to have to find a way to make it work, or you're going to have to ask somebody to watch your kid. Oh my God, somebody's going to have to watch your kid for 4 hours while you get some shit done. There's 7 days in a week. There's 24 hours in a day. I think your child will be fine if you send them to grandma's or send them to the daycare for 4 hours or 2 hours or whatever it ends up being. Hell, if you have a spouse, ask your spouse to watch them for an evening so that you can go get stuff done. And if you have a very unsupportive spouse, then that probably shows that you need to take some of that time and start prioritizing your relationship, working on your relationship so that you guys are on the same page. And not all spouses are going to be 100% on board with you building a business. Let's be honest. My husband wasn't. When I first started really diving into this a few years ago, he thought I was batshit crazy. He was like, this is never going to work. This is never going to be a thing. And I was so determined to make it a thing that I was like, watch me make this happen. You don't have to be on board. I just got to the point where I was like, I don't give 2 shits if you agree with me or not. I'm going to prove you wrong. Okay. And it only took a few short months for him to see a significant progress within my personal life and my business life. Okay. My money management, my time management, I started exercising regularly. I started eating better. when you really start to get focused on your time and how you want to spend your time and get very intentional on the things that you want to get done, you can make a lot of shit happen in a very short amount of time. But if you're not focused, if you don't have a clear direction on where you want to go, hell, if you have goals, but you have no idea how to even achieve that goal, you need to start reining it in and breaking it down and then focusing on those action steps. I was just talking to a client of mine the other day, and a lot of times we have these huge, massive goals, and then we beat ourselves up if we don't make $10,000 on our first freaking launch of a program that we've only been doing a month. You know what I mean? So instead of saying like, oh, I'm going to make $1 million next month, maybe try making $500, okay? Maybe try making $1,000 and then just incrementally upgrading your life based on that. So what I like to tell people is, what's the next right step? Not the next 100 steps. That's decision fatigue. That's overwhelm. That's busy. That's thinking way too far in the future, okay? Focus on now. How can we stay present? What do I need to do this week in my life, in my business, to get me one step closer to my goals, okay? Say you want to write a book. Okay. And I'm not an author. I didn't write a book, but I'm not just going to go out there and finish a book in a freaking week. No, you're going to start with baby steps. Okay. So maybe the first thing that I do is research how to write a book. What's the first step? Maybe come up with a topic, maybe write some blog posts, maybe talk to a publisher. What do you need to do? If you want to start a podcast, what do you need to do to start a podcast? You're not going to just record 10 episodes in one day and have everything approved in 24 hours. No. You need to figure out what it is that you are focusing on next. What is the next step that you need to do to take action towards your goals, you guys? Get very intentional, start time blocking, get focused. And if you find that you are not getting the things done in a day that you think you need to get done or you want to get done, then I want to challenge you to reevaluate your priorities, okay? And how can you start to implement the things that you say are a priority to you into your everyday life? Even if it's only 5 minutes, even if it's only 10 minutes, right? 5 minutes every day is a hell of a lot more than 0 minutes every day. Over the course of a year, that's going to add up to be a lot of minutes, okay? Real life, my daughter just woke up, so we're going to cut this one short. What are you spending your time on? What you spend your time on is your priority. Reality check. If that's not okay with you, how can you reevaluate your time? Catch you guys next time. Thank you for listening to the Confidence Coach podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, I want to invite you to leave a 5-star review and share what you loved most about this episode. You can also screenshot and share it on social media. Tag me at sasha.davis. And if you're looking for additional resources, head on over to sashadavis.com. Check out ways that you can work with me and all the free resources that are available to you. Have a kick-ass day.